Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Dillon here. Welcome to the Tim Dillon Patreon. I was just looking at a tweet that said Michael Burry from the Big Short fame made 1,500% in the GameStop rally. Well, it's good to see that the little people are finally getting their seat at the table. Mm-hmm. Made 1,500% gain on GameStop during its Reddit-fueled rally.
He had 5% of his portfolio in GameStop as of like
Big Short investors, 1.7 million shares soared in value to $271 million at its peak.
So he owned about 3% of the company at the moment. He went heavy on GameStop for the past year.
Wow.
Yeah. He's going hard on GameStop, and he has a lot of shares in the Discovery Channel for whatever reason.
This is a financial show now, folks. Isn't that funny how everything happened? Dave Portnoy is a financial advisor now. The guy who's like does wet T-shirt contests is now a financial advisor. Barstool Sports. Where do you get your stock information? And by the way, good for Dave, and he helps a lot of small businesses, and I like him. But it's just hilarious how everything works now, you know? Dave Portnoy is the financial guru.
Who wanted to start a gambling website, right?
Yeah. Get the people doing what they need to do. Bet on sports. Just take your stimulus checks and bet on the game. That's what people need to be doing. Hey, now that the Wallstreetbets rally's over, how about we go back to the original get-rich-quick scheme? Bet on the game. Come on, you know sports. Take your money. There's a great saying about the Irish, and it could be about other people too, is that just money burns a hole in their pocket. They just got to get rid of it. Yeah. My father never had a dollar because what he would do is he'd go out to dinner with people that had more money than him, and he'd buy them dinner. Because he's an idiot. Right. And he wanted to just throw his money in the street. Rich people let you pay for them. But my father would go out like a fine Irishman and just take all his hard-earned money and throw it in the turlet. And get nothing for it. He'd buy people ribeyes to show that he was doing good, and then drive home on the gaslight. He'd be on E. I saw it as a kid. We get in the cars on E. I'll fill it tomorrow. I love the guy, but I mean, it was like, you want to talk about how I learned about money. I mean, this guy, I'm much better with money than he is because, I mean, I'm getting out of California. That's smart move number one. But, I mean, my parents didn't have to nick the stock market. I mean, these two. My mother was a swim teacher, so she taught children how to swim cash. $25, $30 a lesson, half hour of her time, lugging a fat Long Island toddler around the pool in the backyard. That's not nothing. Maybe she get $50 a half hour. I forget what she was making, but it was not that much money. And my dad spent time working at Pitney Bowes, which was an office supplies company. They would sell like copiers and things like that, like office equipment. And he drove a Pontiac Sundance. Get the Pontiac Sundance up. I want everyone to Google a Pontiac Sundance. The Pontiac Sundance. Here it is.
Oh, baby.
There it is. The Pontiac Sundance. My mother had a Ford Econoline van. Get up the Ford Econoline van. She had it in blue. She had the curtains in the back and the fully retractable bed so you could sleep. Well, no, she had a nicer one than that. She had like
one of these, right? These ones had the curtains, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ford Econoline van. My father then upgraded to the Mazda Navajo. Get that up. The Mazda Navajo. In tan. It was like the bastard cousin of the Ford Explorer. Yeah, the Mazda Navajo. Hard workers, but thoughtless. They didn't get it. So when I see the Wallstreetbets shit, I get excited because I'm like, some kid who grew up like I did, looking at their parents going, God, I'm fucked. Hopefully maybe made a little bit of money on this because I want to fucking make a little bit of money. My parents had no financial knowledge. I mean, they didn't have a clue. My mother collected Hess trucks. You know, like they didn't get it. My dad didn't get it. He was not the hardest worker. He was home at 3 p.m. every day. In a sales job, you should never be home at 3 p.m. You should be at the office till after dinner. But he got home early every day. You know. I mean, God bless them. But that's the whole thing about Wall Street Bets that got me excited. I went in AMC. I'm still in AMC. I'm holding the line.
Let's see the after hours on that.
It's rough. It's real rough. 782. When did I get in?
898. You bought a massive dip during the whole thing.
I got to try to maybe unload this tomorrow. I think this might get battered down to like $2. We have a guy coming on here in a few minutes from Wall Street Bets. He's the biggest meme poster on Wall Street Bets?
Yeah, and I think he has the most karma, the most points.
Most karma points on Reddit in history or whatever.
Yeah, for that subreddit.
For that subreddit? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, because the most person with the most karma points was G. Maxwell, right? Remember that conspiracy? That it was just Lane Maxwell, but it was just some dude who lived in the Philippines.
Yeah,
remember that? Yeah, but this guy's good. He kind of takes us through the whole thing of what Wall Street Bets is and what they're, how all this happened and where it's going. And, I'm when they stopped the trading on Robinhood, you knew it was kind of over. Mm. When they just shut it off, you knew it was over. It was the parent walking into a high school party, and you go, like my friend Jen used to have parties where her mother would just go out to dinner, like to a local restaurant for an hour, and then Jen would have an entire party. Like an hour into the party, the mother would walk in and go, "What the fuck is going on?" Start screaming. Now it was Long Island, so that was easily remedied because we just got Jen's mother trashed. I said, well, listen, you could kick us all out, or you could crank up the Joel and we could fill you with Goldschlagers. And you could say it in the backyard, hard R. How do you feel? Would you like a cigarette? And she obliged. She was a very small woman, but her ideas were very troubling. Ben sold his Dogecoin. He failed the Dogecoin community. Ben's a big fraud.
I failed them.
I failed them. I'm getting excited about moving down to Hill Country in Texas, starting a real big church. If you think I'm not going to be in a tent screaming with Candace Owens, folks, you're out of your mind. That is my future. Just sweating in a tent in the July heat. Mm-hmm. Telling people to take their masks off and trust the Lord. Passing the collection plate. You're damn right. If you think that's not going to happen, you're out of your mind. Yeah. If you think I'm not going to be the type of guy that just is holding a brown recluse spider on stage going, I'm not afraid of this beast, you're wrong. Because that's where it ends for me. You see? In some True Detective style church. We might take all this Patreon money and make a remake of True Detective with Ray as the Yellow King. Yes. That's all we've ever wanted to do. That's all I've ever wanted to do with Prosperity. Yeah. If I got in and really made that GameStop money, I would probably just spend the entire thing on an ill-fated remake of True Detective where Ray is the Yellow King. Yeah. Just riding that tractor trailer around. What does the Yellow King say? What are his lines even?
Oh, what was he saying? Let me pull it up. The one where it's like echoing and Russ is walking around.
I forget.
Let me pull it up.
Listen. Like when the woman's like, will you make flowers on me? Ray's like, listen to me.
Trying to find. So this is I think this is it, right? This is when he sees everything and then gets stabbed.
By the way, I love this when it came out. I watched it 3 times. I just tried to rewatch it recently. It annoyed me.
Oh, really?
I was just annoyed by it recently. I was annoyed by Matthew McConaughey. I found his character annoying to the level where I started to feel bad for the Yellow King. Like he was just annoying, Matthew McConaughey.
Just annoying the hell out of you.
He's like the lion, free will and life is a source. Like, will you shut up?
I think this is the part where it's like echoing when he's walking into the maze.
What if we make a remake of True Detective where the Yellow King is the actual hero? Where he explains to you.
Wait, okay.
Yeah, no, where the Yellow King explains to you how the system works. Uh-huh. And he's like, listen to me. You think this whole thing works without blackmail? sacrifices, Satanism. It's just McConaughey. It annoys me now. I don't know why, but it's still great. It's one of the best things HBO's done.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. And what is McConaughey doing now? He's appearing on Rogan.
He lives in Austin, right?
Does he?
Yeah, and he's not really. I guess his star has faded a bit, right? He's not in he was in movie after movie after movie.
I'm just concerned I'm moving down to Austin with Sandra Bullock, Matthew McConaughey, Elon Musk, and a bunch of losers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm leaving L.A. I got Little Xan. I got people on to come up here.
Bunch of scrubs.
I'll fucking sit down there with Sandra Bullock.
Ooh, 2020 did not look good for McConaughey.
Why? What did he do?
He just played Hank the Cowdog on a TV series, and that was it.
Doesn't he have enough money? Doesn't anyone say no? Their agent calls and goes, you want to play Hank the Cowdog? How much coke have you done? Can't you just say, no, I don't think I'll work this year. I'm going to sit on my porch. I'm going to play Hank the Cowdog.
Oh, but then he's going to be in a Disney
By the way,
movie.
Jake Paul, I interviewed Jake Paul on Clubhouse last night.
Yeah.
Jake Paul's like, what is this? What's going on? He has awareness, which I like about him. He's like, yeah. He's like, isn't everyone in the room fuck these people? He goes, if I was in the room listening to this, I'd be like, hey, fuck these guys. The other kid interviewing him is just he's a drop shipping kid. Mm-hmm. Jake Paul's like, what is this guy doing? Drop shipping. Jake Paul's like, what's going on? So then Taylor Lorenz, who works for the New York Times, who is not like me, she's a tech reporter for the New York Times. She does not like yours truly and doesn't follow me. And this is because she said something nasty about Glenn Greenwald. And then I said, you have a lot of nerve saying shit about Glenn Greenwald because you review mukbangs for a living, which is true. Isn't she writing books about, she writes articles on the Frenemies podcast.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Don't you write are you writing a Trish Paytas biopic? What are you talking about? You're a journalist? Shut up. You're attacking Glenn Greenwald. He can't even live in America anymore because he's an actual journalist. That's what should happen to every journalist. They should live in the woods of Brazil and constantly think they're going to be killed. Glenn Greenwald got spiders in his house that are literally drones. The CIA's got drone spiders walking around his house. Taylor Lorenz is writing about the Sway House, and she wants people to respect her. She's like, I cover the internet. So does everyone else.
Right.
So do I. We all do. You cut it out. Follow the internet. So she live tweets. It doesn't mention me. Doesn't mention me. Fair. It's fine. Doesn't follow me. I'm not a big enough presence for her to really care about on the internet. You know what I mean? I'm not important enough. I'm not the kid who said I like turtles, or whatever she's writing about. God, what's she look like, by the way? Get her up. I've never seen her. She's one of these people without a photo. That's why I don't want to go on Tim Pool's show. It's like I can't deal with the beanie. I can't deal with the beanie. I know you're bald. There was this guy who used to do comedy with Mo, this fat Arab guy who used to wear a beanie in July. We know you're bald. It's over. Man, Taylor Lorenz, God. Yeah, she looks like someone who's not going to like me. She just has a look of someone who's not a Tim Dillon fan.
Yeah.
If I had to describe not a Tim Dillon fan, it's Taylor Lorenz. That's exactly. She's just someone who just does not really like me. That's okay. That's okay. No issues. God love her. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow on these. What's going on, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Why is everyone making her out to be this big deal? What? Can we get her on the show?
Oh, that would be great.